Hey YouTube, Lawler here. As always, long day today. We're now officially 9 hours into the broadcast thanks to a massive tech pause. But we're going to be talking about EWC Day 1. It's a precursor to the World Championship. We've got 16 of the best teams in the world all competing in a bunch of matches. If you guys don't know what's going on, we talked about it. Also, make sure you stop by the stream, twitch.tv/Lawler. Hit up the socials down below, all that kind of stuff. We're going to do a quick recap. We're going to go through the groups. There's 8 matches that went down today. Best of 5s. It felt like eternity due to the issues. And that's kind of the general narrative. It's tough to really get an assessment of how teams are playing when there's a constant issue, like between pauses and hiccups and like, oh, we score a goal. Just kidding. It's getting removed. Oh, just kidding. It is staying. Oh, just kidding. We've got to go to a break. Oh, just kidding. We're coming back. Oh, just kidding. It's like the amount of times that we had to take pauses within the series. It's really tough to get into a flow and see who is performing the best. So I'm going to try to do my best to give you guys a general assessment of how teams look and what to expect going into tomorrow. With that being said, we're going to rip off the band-aid. We're going to do these real quick just because I am tired. I've been up since 6 a.m. and we've been streaming for 9 hours and I got to edit this video after. So Group A, we're going to start real quick. Gen.G and K Corp both look convincing in their victories. Gen.G started off their round against Foot with a lot of aggression. Very fast, very aggressive, a lot of offense. Something that I've been seeing out of them lately that we did get to see in this series is a lot more mechanics. Daniel especially. They do drop a game in game 2 after coming in with a hot start, and then it kind of balanced out. I think a lot of people do underrate Foot. I think a lot of people don't realize that they are a pretty competent team. That being said, Gen.G did not look as polished. Shooting accuracy, again, off the mark. Need to figure that out. Will they be able to do that? Because it will plague them against K Corp if they cannot put the shots and the chances they get away, because they are going to be far and few between. As for K Corp looked pretty dang good. Obviously 2 OTs here. Credit to Virtus Pro on that one. I have someone at my door. Yeah, even the YouTube's getting a pause when we're trying to record a video. K Corp, on the other hand, very convincing. Across the board, I do feel that K Corp looked better. I think K Corp looked a lot more polished. Their offense was there. Finding a lot of good passing plays. Drawley with a couple of redirects. I will say, though, Drawley made mistakes, which is usually not the case. Usually he plays a very clean game, and things were not there for him. I'm not one to usually criticize Drawley because I never can, but looked off. That said, they still 3-0. On the other side, Dig and Wildcard Dignitas did say the series felt awkward, felt very weird. They couldn't really quite put their finger on it. They started very convincing, similar to Gen.G. But as the series went on, they lost a really close OT they were unhappy with. I don't know how else to explain it. They couldn't really explain it themselves. They're just like, something felt off. That is just playing against Wildcard. I think anytime you play an OCE team, that's bound to happen. All of Wildcard had like goofy, weird loadouts and stuff. I think OC has accepted that they are the worst region and don't expect to win at all. Because Torsos and the boys had like clown toppers and weird boosts and ridiculousness. Something's got to change for OC. I think someone needs to come in and teach them a proper play style because they have fallen behind. I think their coaches need to do a proper assessment of what are teams like K Corp and everybody else doing. We need to recreate that because the teams clearly have the mechanics, but they just don't have the style or the fundamentals to do it. I don't know what it is. They also need a belief system. Something mentally needs to change for OC to be like, we can compete against these teams. We can beat them, because we saw them take upset series in last year's and earlier series in, I think, the beginning of this season in Birmingham. And then it started to create this belief system, and then they went a bit more competitive. Yoris did have in his interview talking about potentially retiring and the importance of what happened last year at EWC as well. Saying that, hey, making top 8 with an OCE team basically increased my stocks. It's the reason I got picked up by Dig last second. He didn't mention Super Relay at all, which hurts my feelings, but it's whatever. We let it go. Team Secret came out and punched Gen.G in the mouth. Fast, aggressive, musty infield passes, like, looked really, really good. Gen.G buckled up and gave us a showing. Very close series, very fun. Eventually, they do figure it out in the end. And they do Brazil to close out the series. So, very competitive match. You're talking a top 6 team, a team that went 2-2 and lost in Raleigh, and were able to do it here. So, that's an important match. We talked about this one possibly being one of the closer ones. I did predict Gen.G in 5 and got that right. I think my predictions were perfect today, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double back and check. I know on stream, when we did them from series to series, we got them perfect. That being said, Team Secret looks like they're going to be a tough match for Wildcard, but Wildcard could pull something crazy out of their hat with pressure on the line. As for Group C, this is the group of death. Falcons, GK, an absolute battle. Falcons did not look as polished as normal. I will say that Falcons left a little to be desired, in my opinion. I think they still played well, but I know they could be a lot better. They almost got Spaceman swept by GK. This was winnable for GK. They could have taken that series. I think Falcons definitely didn't play up to their standard, and they can still be better, which to be expected with everybody kind of taking a bit of a break and coming in was just scrims for the week. But GK had like 3 or 4 chances at the tail end of that series to control the ball. They had a chance to take it on a sidewall solo play and create pressure or force someone on defense to actually respect their touch. Instead, they all played hyper aggressive and then just boomed the ball and threw away possession. So they sat in the midfield looking at the ball above them, waiting for a play to develop. And then because of that, they have to expend more boost and they get beat out on it. This should have been a GK win. They looked like after kickoff, they could have taken that. A lot left to give. I think you can say that about most teams today. There is definitely another step to them. Ultimates and Furia, close series, fun series, kind of one of those 50-50 ones that you're not sure on. But Ultimates closed and handled business. For the most part, nothing too crazy, nothing special here. Just, hey, we just out-rotated, outsped. We took care of business here. Nothing too crazy to think about. So, W from Ultimates there. I'm worried about Furia tomorrow. So we'll see how that one plays out. Or technically today when you guys see this. I don't know where to begin on this. You're going to just see the score line here. The game opens up and Vitality wins 8-1. It's ugly. Like, Vitality looks like everything we hear about Vitality from scrims. They're the best team in the world. They're so dominant. Basically, all the expectations everybody's had for Vitality. This might be Monkey Moon 3.0. This might be, again, Monkey Moon gets hot in EWC and then goes and wins Worlds. Again. Vitality looked incredible. Now, we know that Space Station on land has not been that great. They've been some mental issues. They don't play well. That gets further exemplified when there is a literal 1.5 hour break in between game 1 and game 2. Tech pause, tech apocalypse, tech whatever you want to call it happened. We went through 2 games of Bizarre while we waited for this tech pause to happen. And we won one of them, by the way. Long John mega crit build went hard. One weapon build still alive. Come on, show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yeah, we would. GG. Bonk. That being said, massive long break. Game comes in. Space Station puts up a better fight. They stop the bleeding as much. It's a 2-goal game. All right. They're back in it. Maybe we see a fight. Vitality scores a bunch. And then a little bit of controversy. Space Station essentially goes AFK a minute after going down by a bunch. Scribbles is the only one to really put in effort for an extra minute while Kofer and Reveal sat there doing nothing. And some kind words. Zen, both my teammates said the truth. Nothing to say more except than to grow up. 3-0. Exotic. Next time, forfeit after the first game if you don't want to play. We just lost 3 hours. 3-0. 16-year-old players already not motivated to play the game at this point. They will retire before me. Lamau, GG's 3-0. There's a lot of conversation about what is the right answer. My opinion, you're a professional player. It's your job to play the game with the utmost competitive integrity. Win, loss, tech issues, whatever. As much as we agree that tech pause sucked, it would have went faster if you just would have played the game. If you would have just locked in, played, and closed it out, you probably wouldn't have given up 16 and had to watch that many replays. It is bad representation. It is bad sportsmanship. It is bad this, that, the other. There's literally rules against it. So this is now 2 controversial things with Space Station and having younger players on their team, albeit very, very drastically different. I can understand being frustrated after having to sit for that long, but so did Vitality. If I'm Vitality, I'm like, this was going to be a 3-0, and now you're making me wait another how long? Luckily, TSM, massive shoutouts to them, allow us a quick 3-0. Thank you. TSM gets swept. Twisted Minds comes in, smacks him in the face. 4-3-2. And series over. And the day end. Favorites, I think, on every single series. The only one where people were kind of unsure. The predictions I had, both Gen.G and Ultimates, even though they're the low seed, did end up winning. What does that mean for tomorrow? Another 8 best of 5s. It's another long one. They're going to do the upper bracket final of every group and the lower bracket semifinal of each group. So tomorrow, it will be one team qualifies to top 8 and one team is eliminated. And then the next day, they will do the lower bracket finals for all the groups. That is what is going on. If you want to know dates and times again, it's going to start at 7 a.m. Central my time, 8 a.m. Eastern, and they will go through each of the upper matches first. Then they will go back to the other group and do all the lower matches. So they'll do A upper, B upper, C upper, D upper. Then they'll do A lower, B lower, C lower, D lower. That is the schedule for tomorrow. That is going to do it for me, though. We've been live for a really, really long time. I am done being a talkie boy. I'm going to go be an edity boy. And we will see you guys tomorrow. For everybody who's been here hanging out with us the whole time, it's greatly appreciated. If you guys like these recaps at the end of the day, let me know in the comments down below. But other than that, as always, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, help me out. Down below, let me know what you guys got, all the content and stuff. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.